A warmer world? Understanding carbon emissions? Our planet is warming. This warming is primarily caused by carbon emissions. Carbon emissions are released when we burn fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. These fuels power our homes, cars, and industries. When released, these emissions act like a blanket around the Earth. This blanket traps heat from the sun. This is known as the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect leads to rising temperatures, changing weather patterns, and more extreme weather events. The impacts of these changes are far-reaching. Melting glaciers contribute to rising sea levels. Rising sea levels threaten coastal communities and ecosystems. Changes in weather patterns disrupt agriculture and water resources. These changes affect us all. It is crucial to understand the impact of carbon emissions. Reducing these emissions is essential for a healthier planet. Our actions today will determine the future of our planet. Joining hands for change? International agreements on carbon reduction. Recognizing the global threat of climate change, nations have come together. They have forged agreements to address carbon emissions. These agreements provide a framework for international cooperation. They set targets for reducing emissions and mitigating climate change. One landmark agreement is the Paris Agreement, adopted in 2015. This agreement unites nearly 200 countries. Their goal to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. The Paris Agreement emphasizes a collective effort. Each country sets its own targets for emission reductions. These are known as nationally determined contributions, or NDCs. Countries regularly report on their progress and update their targets. International collaboration is crucial. It allows for sharing knowledge, technology, and resources. By working together, we can achieve greater reductions in carbon emissions. This global effort is essential for protecting our planet. National policies, a closer look at carbon reduction strategies. In addition to international agreements, individual nations implement their own policies. These policies aim to reduce carbon emissions within their borders. These policies vary by country, reflecting unique circumstances and priorities. Some nations adopt carbon pricing mechanisms. These mechanisms put a price on carbon emissions. This can be done through carbon taxes or emissions trading systems, or ETS. These systems create economic incentives for businesses to reduce emissions. Other policies focus on promoting renewable energy sources. Governments may offer subsidies or tax breaks. These benefits incentivize the adoption of solar, wind, and hydropower. These policies help transition away from fossil fuels. Many countries invest in energy efficiency measures. These measures include building codes, appliance standards, and public transportation. By using energy more efficiently, we can reduce overall emissions. These national policies play a crucial role in achieving global emission reduction targets. Section 4. The power of regulation mechanisms for change. To ensure the effectiveness of carbon reduction efforts, regulations are essential. Regulations provide a framework for enforcement. They set clear limits and standards. They hold polluters accountable. One common mechanism is emissions trading systems, or ETS. In an ETS, a cap is set on total emissions allowed. Companies are allocated or can trade permits that allow them to emit a certain amount. This creates a market-based incentive to reduce emissions. Another approach is carbon taxes. These taxes directly levy a fee on carbon emissions from specific sources. This increases the cost of using fossil fuels. It encourages businesses and individuals to switch to cleaner alternatives. Regulations may also target specific sectors. For instance, there might be stricter emissions standards for vehicles or power plants. These regulations drive technological innovation and cleaner practices. Effective regulations are crucial for achieving meaningful reductions in carbon emissions. Section 5. Our shared responsibility, the role of businesses, governments, and individuals. Addressing climate change requires a collective effort. Businesses, governments, and individuals all have a role to play. By working together, we can create a more sustainable future. Businesses have a responsibility to reduce their environmental impact. They can adopt sustainable practices. They can invest in renewable energy. They can reduce their carbon footprint across their operations. Governments play a crucial role in setting policies and regulations. They can provide incentives for clean energy. They can invest in research and development. They can promote public awareness and education. Individuals also have a part to play. We can make conscious choices in our daily lives. We can reduce our energy consumption. We can choose sustainable products. We can support policies that promote a greener future. Section 6. Shaping a Sustainable Tomorrow. The vital importance of carbon regulations. Carbon regulations are not just about protecting the environment, they are about safeguarding our future. They are an investment in a healthier, more prosperous world. By reducing carbon emissions, we can mitigate the impacts of climate change. These regulations help create a level playing field for businesses. They foster innovation in clean technologies. They drive the transition to a low-carbon economy. This shift creates new jobs and economic opportunities. Most importantly, carbon regulations protect human health. By reducing air pollution, we create cleaner air and water. This improves public health and well-being. Our actions today will determine the legacy we leave for future generations. Let us embrace carbon regulations as a pathway to a sustainable future. Together, we can create a world where both people and the planet can thrive.